Hey all, and welcome to the part 4 of this podcast series with Helen Culqui, the Global Wanderluster. So, I've queued this podcast in from the last part of episode number 3, which was a Patreon only special episode. So that was exclusive for my Patreon members who are in a community called patreon.com. So to find me there, you have to go on to the website patreon.com/your_local_podcaster. And by pledging us like any small amount towards this mission, you get to access a lot of bonus content. And I feel it's totally worth it, because I'm putting in a lot of effort towards that Patreon page, and it's just like you're getting so much more, and it's a small donation towards a large, big cause. So if you have become a Patreon member, thank you so much. And if you're not, I really hope you consider becoming one. So this is queued in from the last episode, the podcast episode number 3. And we were discussing about the top places to visit in Peru. So she ends with the Amazon rainforest, where you can see the Amazon rainforest in a place called Iquitos. I think that's what it's called. It's called Iquitos. Yep, that's where you see the Peruvian jungles and the Amazon rainforest. We also had discussed about football in Peru, and they qualified for the World Cup for the first time in many years, and how the excitement, how the optimism, what the spirit was in Peru. So you hear it firsthand from her. And we discussed many other things, including the culture, the history, the myths, the legends of Peru. So it's a podcast worth hearing. I mean, you'll get a lot of teasers about the podcast from me, but to hear the whole thing, you really need to subscribe to Patreon. So this is part 4, and she'll be sharing some Peruvian food and other ways to contact Helen. So this is the ending of the episode. It was a 1-hour podcast which I divided into 4 parts. This is the last segment of the podcast. I really hope you enjoy it. And how does it feel to see so many animals, so many alpacas and llamas together?
How it is? You feel surprised. You feel as if you went to Africa and you see the typical animals of the area. You feel like overwhelmed.
Right.
You have the strong desire to live there.
Right.
And you have the desire to live, that you want to live there.
You don't feel like leaving that place.
Yes. Like a local, you feel.
You feel like a local. Okay. Awesome. And then you also said that the last place you can visit is the Peruvian jungle in an area called Iquitos, where you can see the Amazon rainforest. Is it called the Amazon over there, or is it called the Peruvian jungle?
Oh, rainforest.
Yes,
rainforest,
it's a
jungle.
Right. And I think we have covered Peru. And is there any other aspect of Peru which we must know about?
Any aspect of Peru, the gastronomy.
Astronomy.
Now is talking about the Peruvian food. Gastronomy. Food. The Peruvian food. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You told me about the national cocktail, that is Pisco Sour.
Pisco Sour, yes.
And gastronomy. Tell me more about that.
Well, many parts of Peru have these different manifestations of gastronomy. You have, for example, you have in the coast area, you have the ceviche, which is raw fish marinated in lemon juice with onions, corn, with salt and pepper.
Okay. What is the spelling of ceviche?
Ceviche, C for Charlie, E for Edward.
Okay, C-E
V for Victor, I for
Okay.
Italy,
Okay.
C for Charlie,
Mm-hmm.
H for Helen, E for Edward.
Okay. You can find these dishes online too, right?
Yes, so online you find on YouTube, you see some foodie bloggers posting videos of the Peruvian food,
Right.
and then how
Right.
to make a ceviche as well.
Right. So a ceviche is marinated fish, and what was the other thing?
Marinated fish in lemon juice, onions.
Mm-hmm. The other dish.
Or you have lomo saltado.
Spelling?
It's a stew made. Lomo saltado is L for Laura,
Okay.
O for Oscar,
Mm-hmm.
M for
Mm-hmm.
R.
Okay.
S
I
for
lost you.
Sam.
After N, L-O-N.
L-O-M, M for Mary,
Okay.
O, Lomo,
Mm-hmm.
and then saltado is S for Sam,
Mm-hmm.
A for Albert,
Mm-hmm.
L for Laura,
Mm-hmm.
T for Tom,
Mm-hmm.
A for Albert, D for David, O for Oscar.
Okay, so it's L-O-M-O, Lomo Saltabo, S-A-L-T-A-B-O.
D
Another-
for David, D for David,
B, right? B for baby.
B.
B-O.
D for David, D for David,
D.
D.
Okay, Saltado. Lomo Saltado.
yes.
Awesome. So these are two dishes you can try out of the Peruvian culture. And
Yes.
awesome. This was a nice and long chat with you. I think we can come to the conclusion of the podcast, and I can tell my guests where to find you. I already mentioned in the start of the podcast, we can find you on your Instagram page, Global Wanderluster, GLOBAL WANDERLUSTER. And you can see all the places that Helen has been. I also wanted to ask you, Helen, which are the top 3 countries you would recommend for a person to go to?
Which of the top countries are the?
Yes.
Wow.
Let's keep for your sake, let's say Peru is number 1.
Yeah, Peru is number 1. Then you could go to Greece. In the Mediterranean,
Greece?
you have Greece.
Okay.
There are plenty of beautiful islands.
Okay.
And what else? Oh, you have also. You could go also to Vietnam if you want to see the culture.
Okay,
If
for
you
the
want to
culture.
learn about-
You like the culture a lot.
Well, when I was in secondary school, I learned about universal history.
Okay.
And so when I had the occasion to go to Vietnam, I saw everything that I was told on the secondary school. So if you love history, you could go there.
Okay. Interesting. And beautiful. So what do you cover in your blogs? What do you write about in your blogs?
I write about my travels and also all the travels I have been to, my experiences.
Right.
How to get to any tourist spot while you are in the country. I mean,
Right.
you can go by bus like a local, like a metro.
Right.
In metro.
Right. And
also
have you covered? Yeah, there is.
And also in my site there is a section that if any of the audiences wants to plan their next travels and want to find
Right.
any low cost hotels, flights, or bus around Europe, they can check on my resources section.
Around Europe.
Around Europe, yes. They can take
Okay.
their flights, book any hotel around the world.
Okay.
There is
So do you do around Europe, around America too?
Yes, I have my the resources section. There are links where they can arrange the travels anywhere they want to go. They can check the hotel rates.
Okay. So if you are looking to travel, around the world, you can go and check out globalwanderluster.com and go and head to the resources section to find low cost and low budget ways to travel around Europe and other parts of the world, right?
Yes, but
Awesome.
they have to do
and you
it
can
in
also
advance.
they have to do it in advance so that they get the best fares. You have to do it in advance.
Exactly.
Right. And you have to do, and then also you can check out her Facebook page, Global Wanderluster. That's her Facebook fan page. So that is a lot. We've learned a lot about Peru today, and we've learned a lot about you today. And I'm very happy I had this podcast with you. You're my second international guest.
Thank you. This is the first time I do a podcast with you. This is my first
Yes. Yes. How did you like the experience?
I like it. They're very experienced. So
Right.
you answer your questions and you tell the audience about yourself and
Right.
you could be the next Tim Ferriss, I think.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Helen, this was a wonderful talk with you. And like I promised you, I'm going to read your blogs. Have you written blogs about Greece, Peru, and Vietnam?
Greece and Vietnam, they are coming soon. And I have a blog.
They are coming soon?
Yes, they are coming soon.
Okay.
And I have a blog about one city in Peru. I have written a blog about one city in Peru.
Okay. So, like I told you, I will read your blog and I will give a review, an audio review of it on the podcast. I haven't read it till now. So after this segment of the episode, I'm going to attach another clip in which I give my audio review of your podcast. And also I'll attach the review, the links of the blog of Peru, which is out now. And this podcast I'm going to release somewhere in January. So would your blogs be out by then?
I have my blog post on my site. And some
Right.
of them are
I'm
coming
asking.
soon. Some of them are coming soon, yes.
Yeah. I'm asking you, like the one about Greece and Vietnam, would they be out by January?
Yes, by that time they will be there.
Awesome. So I can link
before.
those into my show notes.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
so
will
I
have
can
some,
link
yes.
those into my show notes, and my guests can also go and see those blogs if they are interested.
Yes, definitely.
Right. So wonderful talking with you, Helen. Really nice.
Yeah.
I hope everything goes on well and your day continues. It's, by the way, what time is it over there now? Is it 12, around 1 o'clock?
12:30, noontime. 12:30.
12:30. It's 12:30 p.m. over there, and over here it is 11 p.m. So we are 10.5 hours apart.
Yes, those. We're almost close.
Right. So I hope the rest of your day is wonderful, and your family is healthy and happy, and you keep inspiring more people to travel, and you keep serving your clients with the whole of your heart, like you are doing right now.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I hope you love being on this show, and I also hope to come to Peru one day and meet you.
Definitely. You could take from India.
Yes.
You can take a flight from India, making connection in Dubai. Then you have to make another connection to Sao Paulo, Brazil, and then Sao Paulo, Lima.
Okay. Awesome. So I'll make that connection whenever I can next, and I will come to meet you.
Definitely.
That'll be so great.
Definitely.
Awesome. Welcome to this community.
Thank you very much.
You'll always remain a part of it, And hit me up anytime you want to record another podcast, or you had this really insightful travel adventure, or you have some story to share and you want to podcast about it. Just direct message me on Instagram or connect with me on Facebook, and we can record another podcast.
Definitely, we will keep in touch. Your podcast
We
is
will
doing
keep in
well.
touch.
Yes, your podcast
Thank you.
is doing well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so adios then. Adios, that's what they say in Spanish, right?
Adios, yes. It's the
Adios.
most formal, yes. Adios is formal. If you want to say much more informal, like talking to a friend, you say ciao.
Ciao, yes.
That's what we
Okay,
say
then.
in Peru, ciao.
Okay, Helen Culqui, you were an amazing guest, and we hope that you will come back someday, and that we meet in Peru or in India someday. Till then, have an amazing day, and we'll talk again next time.
Thank you very much to you, and thank you very much to the audience. We will keep in touch again. We'll see you soon.
Yes. Okay. Take care. See you.
Take care. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was Helen, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I hope it was interesting for you, because we had someone from Peru talking about her culture, and even if you felt it was a little long, I think it was worth it, because you don't have people who are willing to patiently give and share their time with you to tell you more. And she was one of those people who was so lovingly sharing her time with me and with this community. And we need to learn from this value that she is generous. She's very generous with her time, and she never held anything back. So I request you to wholeheartedly support her and go to her Instagram page and follow it, and follow her website, read her blogs, know more about the world, know more about the culture, become a learner, become an evolved learner. Try to learn from as much, try to learn from her experiences, and review her blogs and send her feedback, because that's how you're helping her grow, and that's how this Good Vibes community is built around growth. Also, if you would like some more questions to be answered by her, you can email me, or you can Instagram her on the Global Wanderluster, and just tell her that I heard your podcast and I would like to ask you these more questions. She's been to 80 countries, and I'm sure she has a lot to share and tell you. And in case you're planning a travel, so you can also contact her to see if you get a good deal if you book months in advance. Okay, and like I told you, I'll attach a audio review of her blog after this, and you can hear my version of what I read from her blog. And if you feel like you can learn more, you should go ahead and learn more. So that was the podcast, my friends. I really enjoyed it. It was like a 2-hour session. 1 hour I got to know about her and her culture, and 1 hour, like you saw, we recorded live. There's no editing. There's going to be no editing. And I'm sorry if the sound quality is a little disturbed, because this was on Skype, and I feel sound quality shouldn't be a hindrance to good quality material, even though it may be disturbing, or it may be unprofessional to put up low quality sound. I feel that if the content is good and the values are right, then a little disturbance in the sound isn't much hindrance to learning. So we can bear with it till now, until our guests know that they have to buy better quality equipment to be on the podcast. Right now, I'm not making that rule to have very good quality equipment, because everyone is trying to put out their content and show the world who they are. And I don't want just a piece of equipment to stop them. And many of the people I'm interviewing are doing a podcast for the first time. Like you just heard Helen said this was her first podcast, and I want to encourage more podcasting. So I'm going to compromise on the sound quality for now, but later on, I may personally I may directly mail in a high quality mic to them so that they can podcast better or something like that. So we'll figure things out and we'll keep growing. So stay with me along the way. And the next audio clip will be a review of her podcast. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Till then, we meet. Till then, stay positive, stay loving, stay kind, stay intentional, be intentional. Love your family, love your friends, and keep spreading the good vibes. Love you all. So that was episode number 4. And here's her review for her blog. Like I promised. So her blog is Global Wanderluster. You can find it on globalwanderluster.com. That's her webpage. And here's a review. I read around 8 blogs of hers and she's covered various cities of this world, including Ho Chi Minh, Cape Town, and Marseille. So the places like Marseille, where the French Revolution took place, I just read in my social studies textbook of class 9th, I think. And to see a person write about the same place is really fascinating. I mean, she covers all the top spots to visit, and she tells her experience of the place. And she is also a very curious person, so she covers about the history, about the culture, about the architecture of the place too. So she gives a better insight into these cities, and you feel a little closer to these cities. You feel like visiting them too. And one takeaway that I will always remember, I will always keep, is that South African wine is really good, and I need to taste it sometime in my life. She went for a vineyard trip in Cape Town, South Africa. And I wrote in her review on her page that I will include South African wine for my wedding with a wink. So that's a review for her blog. Really nice. I really recommend that you read it and support her. She's a very courageous woman. You can find her on Instagram at @Global Wanderluster. You can find me on Instagram at @your_local_podcaster. Any questions will be answered. And remember, I'm on all other major podcasting platforms, including YouTube, SoundCloud, Castbox, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, and Apple Podcasts. So there is really no way you cannot find me. Just subscribe to my channel from all these places so you never miss out on a notification. Then you could be really kind and leave a rating and review too, because that will really boost this podcast from whichever channel you're listening it to from, Apple, iTunes, etc. This podcast is getting heard a lot more now. The listening range is increasing, and I have to thank you all for this. Keep sharing it with your friends, keep sharing it with your family, keep spreading the good vibes. And if you can, do support me on my Patreon page, patreon.com/your_local_podcaster. I hope you enjoyed this podcast series with Helen. I hope to do many more such series. And if you want to know more about how I connected with Helen and how I started such a blog, you can always visit the place where I learned how to start a blog and how to start a website, and where I take my tips and tricks from. It's a place called Wired Creatives, started by Hannah and Nate, and I'll post an affiliate link on my show notes page, so you can go there, tushaarshow.com, go to this podcast and find the show notes, and in the show notes I'll paste the affiliate link for the Wired Creatives community, so you can also join in and maybe start a blog of your own, so that I can podcast with you one day and review your blog on this podcast. How's that for a start? So I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I will meet you again. I will. definitely meet you again next time. See you.